Hello fellow diecast collectors. Welcome back to Studio 64. In this episode, we'll be reviewing the new Ferrari toolings from Tarmac Works, and in partnership with IXO Models. The Ferrari 458 Italia GT3. And as you can see, I'll be featuring three variants of this model, namely, the 2015 Pirelli World Challenge car driven by Enrique Cisneros, the 2011 GT Tour car driven by Sebastian Loeb, and B. Hernandez, and the 2013 Total 24 Hours of Spa car, driven by Gorini, Le Marais, Prinaw, and Brandella. And I hope I got their names right. But before we proceed with the review, I'd like to thank Tarmac Works for providing these models to be featured in this channel. Though I'd like to emphasize that this review will be objective. Having said that, Tarmac Works has been producing quite a number of Ferrari GT cars for the past months. These three models are just some of them. And like the first batches of Ferrari GT cars released by Tarmac Works, these diecast models are officially licensed by Ferrari. They fall under the Hobby 64 line, Tarmac Works' top-tier, hobby-grade diecast models. Packaging comes in this standard Tarmac Works cutout sleeve box. It has a clear acrylic display case, on a color-themed plastic base. You're also provided with a certificate card, indicating the limited production of the model. And before we unmount the model from its base, here are some info on these GT race cars. And here they are unmounted from the base. Some of you are probably thinking if this is the same tooling as the 488. It's not. Here's the 488 Bathurst edition. I can say that there are several differences in the tooling. Though they do look very similar, but they're actually different. And as for the question if these 458s are all the same? Well, based on initial observation, I can say that the Pirelli Challenge and the 24 Hours of Spa are the same tooling, with the GT Tour version having a slight difference in bodyworks. Beginning with the wheels of this Pirelli Challenge version, since these are Hobby 64 models, these wheels do not roll. That being said, they are nicely molded, as seen on the clean and sharp edges of the spokes. The tires are made of rubber with the Pirelli P0 graphic on the side wall. There's also a disc brake system detail inside. Checking out this side profile, we see other notable features of this diecast model, beginning with the stance. I really like how low the profile is. We also have a racing window on the driver's side, and detailed side mirrors with the mirror sticker insert. Panel gap edges on the fenders, and on the doors could have been sharper if not because of the thick paint. I do like how the side valance ties in very well with the body. Oh, and the graphics are quite clear, and really well applied. Quite accurate too. Moving to the front, there's a front bonnet vent, as well as fender vents prominently indented. Headlights are plastic inserts with some detail inside, standard with a Hobby 64 model. Although I can see a bit of protrusion on the headlights. A front tow hook is attached in the front apron as well. Moving to the rear, we have a quite familiar design, Thanks to the 488, with a couple of differences. Most conspicuous would be the rear twin mufflers. It's positioned in the center. We also have a tow hook in the rear, which pops out against the rear apron. A closer look reveals an unclean attachment of the wing. There's glue all over. But speaking of wing, it's quite rigid, and nicely molded. Graphics does make it stand out more. Engine window gives a peek of the engine of the model, which is also one of the differences from the 488. And as we remove the body from the base, we get to see the interior, which is basically blacked out, except for some accent details in the cabin, as well as on the engine. Moving on to the 2013 24 Hours of Spa Edition. And as mentioned earlier, this model seems to have the same tooling as the Pirelli Challenge Edition, with the wheels being the only difference I can see. In this model, the rims are finished in silver. The spoke design also differs, and on a side note, I prefer this one over the prior. Race livery graphics seems to be spot on, which are also properly applied. I do find this race livery design really nice. It just captures the DHL theme really well. And of course the message it conveys. Can you just imagine if this car delivers your documents? And on this model, we get a better view of the engine since there's no graphic on the engine window. Compared to the previous model, this copy has a cleaner wing attachment. Definitely looks so much better. Moving on to model number 3, the 488 GT3 GT Tour 2011 version, which has a slight difference in tooling than the previous two. But we'll get to the differences as we move along. Beginning with the wheels, this has the same wheels as the DHL version, with a different brand on the tire, Michelin. The front end of this model is simpler in design. It has a more stock car look to it, due to the absence of the vents on the bonnet and the fenders. The rear reveals the other main difference from the first two Ferraris. And it's this rear wing. It has a different wing design and a different mount bracket, which is really not that much, but it's great that Tarmac Works went to this length just to make it more accurate to the real car. And there you have it. 3 brand new Ferrari 458 Italia GT3, from Tarmac Works and IXO Models. Tarmac Works surely made great strides in producing Ferrari GT3 race cars this year. This batch of 458s recently released would surely make a lot of Ferrari GT3 collectors quite happy. Though very detailed and significantly accurate to the real car, I think a bit of paint finish improvement wouldn't hurt. I do believe for the price of this model, quality scrutiny would be quite high. I do wish they would do a global 64 version of these models. The same quality they did for the Pagani Zonda R. That would be great. What do you guys think? Which 458 is your jam? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button below. And if you're new to the channel, or haven't subscribed yet, do consider subscribing. Would help a lot in creating more diecast model reviews. Till the next episode. Happy collecting.